I would just like to share my observations on something that I've found very disturbing. Now, it was a day after Teachers' Day. I was giving my class 10 children a written work. As usual, I had to remind them to write the date. One smart boy asked me what the date was. I asked him, "What was yesterday's date?" He answered correctly. "Then what is today's date?" He gave me a blank look. This is just one example of an occasion where we see a child not applying his mind. We find that many instructions go unheard. Repeated reminders are forgotten. There is a lack of a presence of mind. Isn't this dangerous? And this is why I thought that we should think about how we can train the brain to think. How we can reshape the brain to think. I'm Ilin Abraham. I have been teaching for 33 years and I have witnessed the transformation of 3 generations of learners. The students of the 90s were disciplined. There was a lot of rote learning, but they were focused and had good attention spans. The next generation, the next decade, saw children getting slightly influenced by technology, but they still had a focused and a balanced approach. The present students are heavily dependent on technology, and unfortunately, they are not using it the way it should be used. I'm unable to give my students a written assignment because they either come back with a ChatGPT answer or an AI-created PowerPoint. If they were using technology to gain knowledge or to understand concepts, that would be different. But what is happening is they have been blindly copying, and in the process, they don't even know what they have written. This is dangerous. It's like as if the human brain's ability to think and to create is being outsourced. And in the process, the brain that is remarkably adaptable would definitely go into a mentally dormant state. We would forget to think. Just imagine a situation where the human race cannot think. This is going to be disastrous. Right now also, I find students are unable to watch a video or listen to a talk at the normal speed. Okay, the brain might adapt to the speed, but that's not a smart brain. A brain that can adjust to speed where required is what is important. Now, what it has been creating is impatient youngsters. Youngsters who cannot concentrate, who find a normal speech boring. This is something that has been worrying us teachers. There's a totally shift in attitude. We find that children now are really smart. They're tech savvy. They are fast workers, fast learners. They're really creative. They pride themselves in the ability to multitask. But at the same time, we find that they have very poor concentration levels. That attention span is limited. They throw tantrums. They cannot look at you with a proper eye contact. There's a lot of disturbance in the ability to learn. Even the listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills are hampered. We find that a lot of behavioral changes are there. Psychological problems are rising. Learning disabilities are rising. And the presence of a counselor or a psychologist on the campus is mandatory. What has been bringing about this change? If we look back at what has been happening in the last few decades, we would realize that this is a generation that has had maximum exposure to screen time. So I can't help wondering whether that could be a reason. With the use of the calculator, our ability in mental mathematics has been compromised. With a mobile phone, we do not even need to recollect a phone number. With information available at the tip of a button, we don't need to memorize anything. With assignments being typed, What is the need for a legible handwriting? And with AI, do we really need to think? Now, if this goes on, we are missing out on basic skills the brain is used to. I wonder if this might be the beginning of another evolutionary change. What we need is, as parents and teachers, we need to understand how to tackle this problem. Because what we need is not robots. We need children who can act and think and create. We shouldn't become zombies, where we need to prove our existence on earth, just like we need to prove our existence on screen with a captcha. We need to learn and we need to train children how to use technology to aid thinking rather than replace thinking. Only we parents and teachers can do that, because the whole life of a generation is in our hands. We are the architects of their future. We don't want a human race that cannot think, that cannot emote, because we are not robots. We are people who can think and who can work. Now, the changes that are happening in the educational scene right now is something that will affect society also later. So just imagine how important it is that we try to train our children to think, to use time wisely, to learn. We realize that it is not just academically sound students that we require. We need children who are emotionally strong, who are ethically wise, and who are socially sound. In order to create that, teachers and parents have a big role. Wean them away from technology. What they have been seeing, what they have been influenced with, the mobile games, the violence in cartoons, whatever they are watching, monitor it. Even, I would say, our Tom and Jerry, which is really harmless, is basically about how to outwit each other. So let us monitor what our children are watching. Let us monitor what our children are doing. Thank you.